So here I am back for week 23 and 24. I wanted to cover two main topics in this video. Number one is just accuracy, what that can do for you as a math teacher and how that becomes really powerful as a blended teacher. And number two, I really wanted to share with you the power of the pretest and how that becomes so much easier with blended learning. So let's talk about accuracy first. I am the math teacher that, this is my fourth year in a classroom, and previously I would give partial credit. I really wanted to honor the fact that students were understanding processes, or at least parts of processes, and I wanted to honor that, and I wanted to reward students for that rather than just saying, oh, you didn't get the answer, you're wrong. And so I definitely was a teacher who gave partial credit. I did my tests this way. I did assignments this way a lot of times. And so when I went to blending, this concept just kind of popped up with me as like, well, if I make a short answer, not multiple choice, because I feel like multiple choice, they can just choose enough times and get a right answer, or maybe guess and get it right the first time. So I started using short answers. So if the answer was 23 centimeters, which they had a question like that today, I would write answer question 3, and I write note, make sure to round to the nearest whole number and include your unit of measure. Example, 18 inches, 18 IN. So I'd give them an example. So they knew when they got 23 centimeters, they need to type in 23 cm. What this has done for me is immediately students know if they did it right or didn't. And it has allowed them to jump right back and go, oh, where did I make my mistake? Most of them can find it in just a couple seconds. They're like, oh, I did that wrong. But then it opens another window. So initially it opens a window for them to check their own work. And then the next tier is it allows them to go, Mrs. C, I tried this, I didn't get it right. Or to ask their group members, I tried this, I didn't get it right, what'd you get? And believe it or not, my students are required to get every question absolutely correct on every assignment and on every test. And I have 100% from some students. I have kids getting great grades all across the board and learning so much more. I will say this, because I believe in honoring the process, honoring the fact that students know parts of the process, I would have never done this probably without blended learning. But blended learning lets me, because I am still hugely about honoring the process and honoring the fact that students know pieces of it. And so this lets me give them another tool to keep taking the pieces farther that I couldn't have given them without blended learning. So I know a lot of teachers do partial credit. I believe in partial credit. I believe in, giving kids credit where credit is due, and they know pieces. What's so cool about blending is that now I get to up the ante a little and push for accuracy, because it helps me manage my time better. Students are allowed to do retakes, and it helps them find the solutions, and then it helps them advocate for themselves with their partners or with me, to take it another step if they can't find that solution on their own. So, and I know it's a huge concept with math teachers, a huge conversation between math teachers, and everybody does it a little different and believes a little different. For me, I am very much a person that likes to give partial credit. And what I love about blended learning is that now, for the first time ever in my math class, I get to push towards accuracy also. And it's been exciting. I love it. I love what my students are learning. I love that they're getting the whole process now. Like, they can work it all the way through, and they're really getting there. It makes me really excited. It makes me really happy. I feel like we're accomplishing it. They're getting the end result. So accuracy, it's a big conversation. I know some people are going to watch this video and go, I don't know, or I have a lot of questions about what she just said. I'd love to talk to you more about that. Beyond that, I have so many statistics coming in right now. I'm really excited, but I'm compiling, so I'm going to do a big video on statistics coming soon. But the last thing I wanted to talk about in this video was the power of the pretest. Oh my goodness. I have never done pretests before because they take so much time. I have a heck of a time just trying to get all my tests corrected, much less giving pretests and spending all that time. But what I did with blending is I already had the test created. So I made a couple minor adjustments, copied it, made sure the kids couldn't see their answers after they took it once and could take kind of a look at it. And then I got a nice little benchmark for how much do we know? How much do we not know? The last module we just did with Math 2 was inverses, radicals, and man, their pretest scores were horrendous. But their final scores have been awesome. So the growth is really exciting. But for Module 5, I was really interested. I'm like, I wonder if they know some of this. So their pretest scores for Module 5, I think my average was like a 59. And I had like 4 kids score 100%. So those pretest scores way higher than I've ever seen. All my average pretest scores have been under 20%, I think. And some of them have even been like 8%. And you have to kind of take into account too, they got a 59 and I told them not to answer 3 of the questions. So obviously it was even higher than that was where my average was. And so I just kind of scanned through those real quick and said, okay, where are those areas where we're getting most of the questions wrong? I totally readjusted my Module 5 and we're only teaching, lessons for about a week and then we're going to retest and see where we're at. And I got to do all of this in once the kids took the pretest, it was like a day and a half to take the pretest, and I was able to adjust my entire module in about 45 minutes. As far as planning, the whole module, looking at pretest scores, looking at what they scored good at, what they didn't, readjusting my whole module, starting to pull them up and picking which assignments we were actually going to do. 45 minutes. Wow. And now I'm going to get to spend more time in my classroom working on things they need to work on. And so that makes me really happy. I'm going to get them through more meaningful content. Again, I would not have been able to do that without blended learning. Just the time factor sometimes just kills you. And so I do a pretest every single module now. It's just become habit in my classroom. My students know it. They're used to it. And it's exciting. So some things I've never done before. I haven't got to push for accuracy. I haven't got to do pretests and really understand where every student is individually. And so, before we even start the content. And so this has been really great. Some great additions for me as a teacher that I haven't ever got to experience before. So I would encourage you to explore the concept of accuracy. With my blended portal, there's lots of creative things I do to make sure the kids are set up to succeed with those short answers. And so if you're a teacher blending and want to know a little more about how to do short answers with math, please let me know. I would love to talk to you about it. And just that power of the pretest for me as a teacher and for them as students, they were really excited to take that pretest and go, it's no pressure, the grade doesn't count. And for them to go, wow, I did awesome on that. Or, last module's inverses, they're like, I know nothing. I got an 8%. So anyway, 2 great things, and we're going to have lots of statistics coming up soon, but I hope some of that was helpful for you and at least gave you things to really think about or maybe ask questions about.